guys, welcome to Docs Podcast. I'm Dr. Ali here.
And I'm Dr. Ingky, and welcome to the podcast. Two medical doctors a lot of times talk about non-medical stuff.
Yeah,
right?
we're still on this non-medical role.
Yeah, we're still on the non-medical stuff. So last week we have changed the format slightly.
Yeah, we're doing this whole explain certain topics like as if we're a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
5-year-old.
Yeah, so how it works is every week each of us will choose a topic, not letting the other person know what the topic is. And
we only let each other know like 30 seconds before the camera rolls.
Yeah, just a big topic, right?
Yeah.
Then after that, what we do is we try and explain it as simple terms as possible so that the other person will understand and hopefully you understand. And then, of course, the other person will have to ask questions.
So last week we were talking about this PAEI test,
Yes.
which is more on entrepreneurship.
It's a more of an entrepreneurship kind of test. And then if you're hiring your managers, you should get them to do the test as well.
So if you want to know more, just roll back to last week. There will be episode 134. Wow,
There's a lot of episodes. Yeah.
But anyway, that's something worth tuning into if you are in the HR or if you want yourself to know what is your managerial personality test.
Correct.
This week, however, we're talking about something different. He has no freaking idea yet. I just told him like 30 seconds ago. This week, we're going to talk about student loans are bad.
Okay, so from what I understand is a student loan is when someone wants to study, and they don't have enough money, so they borrow some money from
a bank or financial institution, and for that they get to pursue the career that they dream about. Right, and then because of that, it's a huge thing.
It is big.
It's a huge thing,
is big.
right? So there's many institutions out there. So the famous one in Malaysia would be PTPTN.
Yes. So
government body.
PTPTN is provided by government.
Federal loan.
Yes, federal loan.
For students to take up a loan at low interest rate. But you can also get it from financial institutions nowadays.
Yes. Actually, if you're tuning from the States, from US, right? US actually has a lot of banks offering student loans to students.
Now, fun fact, Ingky. Did you know in the US alone, student loans account for 1.8 trillion of their debts?
Whoa, that's a lot.
1.8 trillion. We're not talking about billion, we're talking about trillion. 1.8 thousand billion.
So it means that the student loan itself,
it's a huge
it's like
market.
an industry lah. So it's like an industry.
It's an industry. And 1/3 of people who took loans cannot afford to pay back or default.
Oh, then that's quite bad for the industry because when how much again?
1.8 trillion.
1.8 trillion, roughly
so
about
1/3, let's say 600 billion.
They can't pay.
Or they're finding it hard to pay back.
Okay, all right. Wow,
Yet,
that's huge.
Yet, in Malaysia, it's encouraged.
If not mistaken, US is encouraged as well.
I mean, US is confirmed. It's confirmed. But in Malaysia, it's encouraged for you to take student loans. And in fact, a lot of parents are going into taking student loans for their kids.
Okay.
And not all of them are going to be paying. They will transfer it to the kids to continue paying once they start working.
Okay. So I want to ask you, right? So when you talk about the default and all,
yes,
what happens if you cannot afford to pay back your loans?
Very interesting question. Now, student loans, when you take it, of course, like any other loan, whether it's a personal loan, whether it's a housing loan, or whether it's a car loan, if you can't afford to pay it, they are going to chase after you. Okay. When you start your career, you're going to start with negative. You're going to start in a default of negativity where you have to start paying. Your credit score is already in the negative.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, when you can't afford to pay and whatever you say or do, they will chase until the point whereby they can declare you as a bankrupt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can be declared as a bankrupt if you don't pay.
Okay.
Number three, no matter what you say, they will just transfer your debt into someone else.
Oh, that means you have someone else that is required to pay on your behalf.
Yeah, either someone else will pay, a guarantor, it has to pay for you, or if there's no guarantor, let's say the bank decides that they don't want to service you anymore, they will just transfer to another bank who will take over your loan and they will still chase after you. Like it or not, you need to pay back this loan. And the worst part, like even let's say a car loan, if you crash the car and you didn't have insurance and too bad for you, or if you have a house that you can't sell, you need to still pay back this student loan even if you didn't finish the course.
Okay. So then, if that's the case, then why would anyone want to take up a student loan?
Now, that's the thing. Every parent wants their child to have the brightest future possible by putting them in the best school with the best opportunity. If not, at least go and get yourself a degree. Go and get yourself a degree. What's going to cost? Whatever it takes. So, for most of the case, it helps with the parents in their financial status. Now, not everyone was born with a silver spoon.
Of course.
Can you agree that?
Yes.
And not everyone's going to be able to to give the child the cost of their dreams.
Correct.
You know, a child, when they come on and they say, oh, imagine your kid say, Papa, I want to study architecture. I want to study medicine. What's the cheapest thing for medicine? What, 500K now?
Yeah, roughly about that.
Roughly about there, right? And you're like, okay, if you have the capability, great. But if you don't have the capability, then what are you going to do? You're going to take a loan.
Correct.
You either take a personal loan, which is high on you, or you take a student loan and you leverage off your kid.
True, because the student loan
is tied to the child,
yes,
not
it's
to the
tied
parent.
To the parents.
Not
Correct.
tied to the parent. So it's tied to the child. So the child starts with a personal loan to finance their education. Now, I give, for example, it's okay in certain condition.
What do you mean?
Number one, if it's a very specific niche profession.
Okay.
Let's say doctors.
Okay.
Whereby possibly the value is high.
Okay. High possibility of employment and the payback. Okay.
Payback is high. Number two, it is a reputable college or university for networking.
Networking.
Networking. Now,
okay.
if it's going to, let's say, XYZ college, or never mind, we're just going to name names, but no disrespect. Let's say just go to Sunway.
Okay.
Okay? Just to get a, let's say, mass comm degree, and you're going to pay 100 to 120K. The value of it is that much. But let's say if you're going to go to Oxford or Harvard or Yale, now it doesn't matter what you graduate from.
Okay.
But being an alumni from this university, the people you mingle with, there's a value.
So they will give the loan.
There is an intrinsic value whereby it's worth to take the loan if you manage to secure a place.
So as long as you secure a place in a reputable university
that has a value.
They don't care what you study lah.
Well, I'm not saying whether the banks care or not. I say what you're personally as a child.
Okay,
right.
Okay.
Because of the circle that you are going to be mingling with.
I understand.
For example, Joe Lau.
Okay.
So Joe Lau gets to go into a reputable place, and he mingles with the creme de la creme of the world.
Yeah. So then
you build your network.
Yes. So then it's worth for him to take a student loan.
If he had to take a student loan to begin with. But if he didn't, so if any one of our child had to go into those elite places whereby you get a chance to mingle with the best of the best in the world and possibly grow your network, I would say, okay, go ahead, take it.
Okay.
But if you're just going to get, like, say, a certain X degree, right? Let's say mass comm or let's say accountancy, what difference is it going to make if you're going to spend 100K or 20K?
Okay.
You come up with the same thing.
Okay. So let's say I play a little bit of devil's advocate here. All right. Let's say the parents really cannot afford, right? And the parent is from a very poor social class.
Fair enough.
Very, very low social class. And the child has the results to get into a university. Of course, maybe not the best.
Yep.
All right, because due to circumstances, but to get into a mid-tier university and say, hey, Papa, I need to take a loan of, let's say, 40,000 ringgit, right? Or maybe $20,000 to get in.
Yep.
All right. And because the dad is poor, all right, should the child take it? Because there is a possibility, again, it's just a possibility that the child can move social class from poor to middle income. So should the child take the debt to move social class?
I think they should.
All right.
But if it's in the case of saying, for 40,000, you get, let's say, Tar College. But for 80,000, you get Taylor's. And for 150,000, we get you into Melbourne.
Okay.
But you need to take a loan.
Okay.
Now, why would you want to spend 150,000?
Yeah, exactly. Why would I want to spend 150,000?
Why would you spend 150,000? You come out with an accountancy degree.
Yeah, it's the same degree.
It's the same degree. At the end of the day, same job, same pay. It's not like as though, I mean, you and I are employers. Do you really give two hoots where they graduate from?
Not really.
but you care about his attitude in
Yes,
front of you,
correct.
and you care about his results.
Correct.
Not academic results, but his work results. Do you really look at the university degree?
No.
I don't look at it.
Hey, but you'll be surprised. Some of the bigger corporations look at degrees.
Maybe yes, maybe no.
Yeah.
You know, but
They look
but even if they look, they would eventually regret if the fellow is not going to be a good integrator.
True.
Not a good worker. Bad attitude. They can't last long anyway. So they hire based on the need of keeping an ego and reputation, but they cannot retain if you are not a team player. So at the end of the day, we are looking for team players.
Okay.
Number one.
Okay.
Number two, how often have you met, or how many people you know who graduate with one degree but work in a totally different job?
Yeah, of course, got many actually.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So at the end of the day, you are going to pay, instead of let's say 40,000, you're going to pay 150,000, which is an additional 110,000. Incur a loan, pay the interest, and don't work in a profession that you graduate from. What's the damn point?
So you see, right? It's I find it quite interesting that banks and all these financial institutions would give a loan to an 18-year-old, all right, in hopes that he might secure a job in the future, and they will not give a loan to the same 18-year-old if the 18-year-old wants to start a business. All right.
See?
Example, 18-year-old say, I have a business I want to start. I just need $5,000-$10,000 loan, and
cannot.
this is my business plan.
Oh, cannot. I
Alright,
think there's no
and,
future.
Yeah, and then the bank said, no lah, it's too much risk.
Too much risk.
Too
But
much risk.
I'll give it to you to study.
I'll give you a study.
Even if you're
though
not going to graduate,
even though
if you don't graduate,
even though the default rate is 30%.
correct.
It's
Default is 30%.
crazy high.
It's crazy high. And it's a higher amount. So the risk they undertake is high.
Okay.
So that comes to the next point, which I say is not good, which is the interest that they incur on you.
Okay. So what's the interest rate? I assume it's not as high as personal loan.
Of course, not as high as personal loan, but all right. So I just did a little bit of preliminary research of Maybank. Take 100,000. 100,000 ringgit, 10-year loan, you are going to repay 1,700 ringgit. Now, you tell me at 100,000, right, what kind of cost can you get these days?
Yeah.
Nursing is about 80,000.
Yeah.
Roundabout. Plus, let's say you factor in some amount of living cost, 100,000. What is the starting salary of a nurse?
No, it's low. It's way low. It's about 2,000.
2,000 to 2,500,
Yeah, 2,500.
And if it's a 10-year loan, you're going to have to pay back 1,700.
Oh,
What
that
you
means,
have left?
Yeah, so roughly about 80% of your salary goes to repaying the loans.
Correct. And if you took a 15-year loan, it's 1,500. If you took a 30-year loan, which your parents then need to put collateral against their own property, it's 1,200.
No, but it's a 30-year loan, That means by the time you graduate, till the time you retire, you're still paying off your loan.
You pay.
And this is just a student loan. It's not even a housing loan.
Student loan, correct.
not
Which
a housing
comes to
loan.
point number 4. You take this loan, your credit score is already, let's say, just now 2,500. Let's
Yeah.
say you even earn 4,000,
Yeah.
but 1,700 goes to paying off the loan.
Yeah, so
Your credit score is low.
is lower.
And
already,
banks only allow you to take to a maximum of 2/3 of your salary for loans.
correct.
So 4,000 times 2/3 is basically what? 2,008.
It's about 2,000 plus, yeah.
2008. 1,700 goes off to paying your loan. Now you only can take a loan worth 1,001. Now you have to decide a car or
A
a
car or
house.
house, yes.
And if it's a house at 1,001, you're talking about a 200 to 300,000 ringgit property. In today's market, what you're gonna get?
True.
Almost
true,
nothing.
True.
In today's market, to get a car over a 9-year loan, 1,001 gives you what kind of car? Probably Camry at best. Civic, not even Camry, Civic at best. Okay, so if you go for something lower like a Vios, $700, $800, you have no more money to eat.
True.
Your credit score is bad. So at the end of the day, right, you need to figure out student loans.
So you have to figure out whether the education is worth it or not.
Well, education at the end of the day is worth it.
But whether it's worth saddling yourself with debt.
Correct. Whether it's worth selling in debt. If you can get an education for 40,000, why go for 150,000?
True.
And it boils down a lot to, okay, I'm going to say this, parental ego.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
not the child.
That's true. Yeah, the child have no idea. At 18 years old, trust
At
me, the
18
child
years
has no
old,
idea.
right, you have
What-
no idea. But the parents say, no, you must study overseas better, get better employment. So never mind. We put a loan first. I help you pay. After you start coming out to work, how much more your parents want to pay for you?
That's right. That's right.
They
That's right.
expect you to be independent.
True.
Then you get settle yourself back to track. So it's not saying that student loans are 100% bad. It's effective on certain condition, but overall, make a conscious decision where you want to go and can you minimize the cost of taking a loan.
Yeah. So I think end of the day, as a parent, you need to figure out the best for your child, right? Whether or not the education is worth the money, and whether or not your child can repay in the long run. In the long run.
It doesn't make sense. Like we live in a generation now whereby you often would hear the parents say, "Never mind, I pay for you first," because their parents are still earning. So these are a bit more privileged lot. But if you take that away, I mean, if you put that in, you're basically just spoiling your child for another couple of years. They don't get to see what is real life all about. They don't know what hardship is all about. They don't know about their own real money management. They have basically run away from the responsibility of paying 1,500 to 1,700 a month of their 4,000 ringgit salary, which is a lot if you think about it. They have shook 40% of their responsibilities. It does not play well on their long run financial status.
True.
So it's just something to think about. That's why today's topic, if I say it's bad, it's only because it's been too loose in giving out. As you said, banks are more happy to give loan out, and a lot of colleges are using this to apply for you. Because at the end of the day, they don't care whether you can pay back or not.
Yes, correct.
They want your money. And school fees goes up.
Yeah, and it could be that, and because of that, right, school fees go up. Actually, I wanted to add that when they know they have the reputation for it, they will increase their school fees, and they know that no matter how high the school fee is, you can secure the loan. You can get the loan.
Yes,
right. And because they don't care whether you can pay it back or not.
That's not their problem.
Right. It's not their problem.
And nursing used to be from 25,000 ringgit for a 3-year course, has gone up, has ballooned up to 60 to 80,000 ringgit.
It's expensive now.
It's expensive now.
Very expensive.
All because loans are easily available. They help you apply. They will secure for you. They'll say it is almost free for your parents.
Yeah, exactly.
You will pay back later. Your parents don't need to pay today.
Correct.
They will secure everything for you. Your parents just have to pay for your living costs, which everyone is happy. But then you end up paying 1,500 to 1,700 on a 2,000 to 2,500 salary. So think about it. Student loans, it's a necessary evil.
Yes,
necessary evil.
Correct.
Necessary evil.
Yep.
But make it necessary. Don't make it as something which is more of a want rather than need.
Correct.
Tell us if you've been saddled with
student
loans, and has it worked for you? Has it not worked for you? And what kind of grounds of complaints that you have?
Correct.
And if you really need to apply, get the PTPT. Can negotiate and bargain.
Can negotiate, and I think there are certain
time
frames.
frames.
No, there are certain criteria to convert it into a scholarship.
Scholarship, and every few years they'll give you discounts. If you settle everything, you get 20 to 30% discount.
Yes, correct.
Well, the banks don't care.
Yeah, the banks.
So again, if you manage to, you need to go get a PTPTN in Malaysia. Any other country, sorry, don't have that info.
Correct.
But basically, it's a federal loan. Federal loan.
Yeah.
Right. So until then, we'll be back next week on a new topic. And in fact, I think next week will be on cancer.
We'll be slightly more medical topic now.
Medical topic. So we need to switch a little bit. Have to pretend to be doctors a while. Till then, see you guys next week. Dr. Ali here signing
And
out.
Dr. Ingky, good weekend.